I teach meditation. I have recorded thousands of them. That is the truth. And there are moments when it will make your anxiety worse. I taught a little bit about this the other week, and I want to go a little bit deeper based on some of the questions that have come up. So not many people are going to admit that, and I think it's really problematic that we don't talk about this, because I've taught a lot of people who've come to me convinced they were the only person alive who couldn't meditate. So by the end, you'll have the rule I use for which moments to sit down and which moments to do something entirely different. So imagine that you're anxious. Maybe that's easy to imagine. You're really anxious. Your chest is tight. Your hands can't keep still. You know, that pressed feeling at the top of your stomach. And you think, right, I should meditate. Okay? And you sit. And maybe you close your eyes, and then you find 90 seconds later it's worse. So your heart is somehow more, obvious than it was before you started. So you absolutely are struggling. And you get up and you think that you failed at the one thing that was supposed to help, but you didn't fail. I want you to look at what almost every meditation asks you to do. Turn your attention inward. Notice your breath. Notice the sensations in your body. And now look at what anxiety actually is in the body. Your heart's running too fast. Your chest is tight. Your stomach drops. You've got hands that won't settle. So at a genuine 8 out of 10, you've been asked to hold a magnifying glass over the exact thing that's frightening you, and then sit still and keep looking at it. That's not a personal failure. That is arithmetic. It's not possible. And the same instruction is absolutely beautiful when you feel you're at a 3, because there's nothing alarming in there to find. The same practice, you're the same person, but an opposite outcome. And the only thing that's changed is how activated you were before you began. So I had a woman who came to me after 11 years of believing she was constitutionally incapable of meditating. 11 years. She'd been to classes, she'd used apps, she'd gone to a meditation retreat, and every single attempt happened while she was struggling, because that's the only time she ever reached for meditation. She'd never once practiced it when she was calm. So she was judging what I think is a superpower entirely on how it performed in one condition that it wasn't built for. Okay? I know for myself, it took me a long time to meditate. That's why the 10-minute mind was so important to me. Such a powerful way to get people into meditation, because I built it for people who thought that they couldn't meditate. Because I struggled. I found meditation incredibly difficult. And now I have the 10-minute mind in over 70 colleges and universities around the world, helping people to be able to meditate, because I know what that is like to not be able to do it. So before you sit down, ask yourself one question. Out of 10, where am I right now? You don't need to be accurate. You need to be honest, because most people never check. Most people, if they're reaching for meditation for the first time or the second or the third time, they're very often doing it when they're desperate, which is the one condition it handles the worst. And then they draw a permanent conclusion about themselves from it. If you're above a 7, don't go in. That's it. And don't do a look around the room and calm it down. That's too easy. And the thinking keeps running underneath it. It needs to cost you something. So pick 4 things you can see and find one detail on each of those 4 things that you would have missed otherwise. A chip in the paint on your wall. Look at a leaf and see the way that it's folded. And if you can, say them out loud. And this works for a very ordinary reason. You only have so much attention. So tracking real detail outside you uses up enough of your attention that there isn't much left to run the anxious thinking with. So you're not calming yourself down, and I don't want you aiming for that at an 8. You're using up the attention the anxiety needs. That's a much lower bar, and you can actually clear it. Then, when you're down to a 3 or 4, that's when you do your meditation. You don't practice on the calm days because the calm days need it. You practice on the calm days so when you arrive on a day that you're stressed out, you're able to settle into your meditation much more easily. So, let me be clear. I'm not telling you meditation doesn't work. I'm telling you it works at a certain intensity, like most things do. I don't know, paracetamol can be excellent, but you don't use it for a broken leg. So if you've been carrying the idea that you're the person who can't meditate, please put it down. Meditation is one of the most powerful things you can do, right? But I can't hand it to you as a tool and tell you it works at every level of distress. It doesn't. All right? And which of these you need more of depends on where you sit day to day. And people guess wrong about that constantly. So go and do the quiz, the happiness quiz, see where you're at. It gives you a personalized report. It's free and it only takes a few minutes. So I want to be clear. Meditation isn't a rescue, it's a training. So it's really important to do it on the days you don't need it. As always, be kind, take care, go gently in the world.